filter set deep down inside here. Now, press both against glass. See? The ordinary filter leaves the smear. That's the point. Only in Parliament, the bitter nicotine and tar from the filter cannot get on your lips. Can't spoil Parliament's pure tobacco flavor. You get a clean, satisfying smoke.
Continuously tested by the independent laboratories of United States Testing Company. Smoke the best Hi-Fi Parliament, now popular price.
That's the Parliament story. Parliament with the recessed filter best. Try Parliament yourself. Now then, Mr. Eban, regarding the American Jew and the State of Israel, as I said, the anti-Zionist Rabbi Dr. Elmer Berger has written that the Zionist-Israeli axis imposes upon Jews outside of Israel, Americans of Jewish faith included, a status of double nationality, a status which he deplores. What's your answer?
Well, Mr. Wallace, I have so many pressing duties that I don't follow the wisdom of this gentleman perhaps as closely as I should. I will only say this, that we ask no allegiance, we seek no loyalty from anyone who is not a citizen of Israel. There is a kinship of spirit, of emotion, of historic memory between us and those who share our faith throughout the world. If American Jews wish to express that kinship, it is for them so to do. If not, then that also is their decision. We, as a free nation speaking to a free nation, set forth the reasons why we believe they will find it infinitely rewarding to draw upon our common heritage and to sustain us in our great historic enterprise, but it is their decision, and we impose nothing on them at all.
Your own Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, wrote back in 1953 this. He said, when a Jew in America speaks of our government to his fellow Jews, he usually means the government of Israel, while the Jewish public in various countries view the Israeli ambassadors as their own representatives. Wouldn't that appear, anyway, to support Rabbi Berger's statement?
I think not, Mr. Wallace. I'm sure that the Prime Minister was speaking in these terms of historic sympathy. We do evoke a certain affection, certain impulses of responsibility, but the clear division of political allegiance is, I think, fully understood on both sides. We impose nothing upon them. We seek, as I've said, no allegiance from them. There is a kinship of history which both they and we seek voluntarily to express, and for which there are so many examples, both in our own tradition and in yours.
Would a Jew, in your estimation, would a Jew be any the less a Jew if he were opposed to Zionism and to Israel?
Well, we're dealing here with subjective terms about more of a Jew or less of a Jew. I think it is for Jews outside of Israel to determine the exact degree and measure of their intimacy with us. We believe that Israel's emergence is the greatest collective event in the history of the Jewish people, and that there is no pride and no dignity for a Jew, such as those to be found in giving aid and sustenance to Israel in the great hour of her resurgence.
I still, if I may say so, sir, do not feel that you've been responsive to that question, though. Can a Jew be a good Jew and still be opposed to Zionism and to Israel?
I think that's for him to decide.
Well, of course it is, but in your estimation...
In my own personal interpretation, I would say that a man who opposed the state of Israel and the great movement which brought it about would be in revolt against the most constructive and creative events in the life of the Jewish people, and it's a fact that the great majority of our kinsmen everywhere are exalted and uplifted by these events.
But Judaism is a religion, sir.
It is a religion, and it is a peoplehood, and it is a civilization, and it is a faith, and it is a memory. It is a world of thought and of spirit and of action, and it cannot be restrictively defined.
Therefore, in your estimation, again, to be a good Jew, one has to be more than just a religious practicing Jew. One has to enter the religion and the peoplehood at one and the same time to be a fulfilled Jew.
I believe that religion has been the field in which the genius of our people has been most profoundly stirred, but that being Jewish goes beyond this vital domain and covers a whole complex of spiritual and other emotions, and that to live within the fullness of Jewish history is a deeply satisfying experience.
Recently, David Ben-Gurion said, I still don't believe it's possible to enjoy the full Jewish life outside of Israel?
Well, to be quite frank, Mr. Wallace, we think highly of our country. We believe that we have achieved a reunion of the conditions of its greatness. This was the people, this was the land, and this was the language out of whose previous reunion great events flowed for us and for mankind. And we believe that the perfection of our destiny in the world can only be found through this great act of restoration which has happened in our lifetime. We wish well to our brethren outside our frontiers, but we do believe that there is a special historic and spiritual quality in the life of a free Jewish citizen in Israel reborn.
I thank you, sir, for coming and spending this half hour with us. I congratulate you upon your 10th anniversary.
Thank you very much.
The State of Israel was conceived 10 years ago in hope. It has lived in good measure in peril. In the future, if it is to survive and realize its dream of plenty, it must live in peace. To that, the free world says, Amen. In a moment, I'll bring you a rundown on next week's guest, a man of whom it has been said, he walks the razor's edge between genius and madness. When you compare filter cigarettes, it's easy to see why now Parliament with the recessed filter is best. Let me show you why. First, over 30,000 traps in this filter. No other popular cigarette delivers less nicotine and tar. Second, unlike every other filter, Parliament's filter is recessed, set deep down inside here, so that trapped nicotine and tar can't get on your lips. And third, because it's recessed, there's no bitter taste of trapped nicotine and tar to spoil Parliament's pure tobacco flavor. It's a clean, satisfying smoke. Remember, Parliament is continuously tested and reported by the United States Testing Company, one of the world's leading independent testing laboratories. Smoke the best. High Five Parliament, now at popular price. Next week, we go after the story of one of the most unusual men of our times, a modern artist who boasts, the only difference between me and a madman is that I am not mad. You see him behind me. He's Salvador Dali, who has both outraged and intrigued us with his nightmarish paintings and his unconventional behavior. If you're curious to know why Salvador Dali calls himself one of the geniuses of our age, why he says that he can remember his existence before he was born, and if you want to get Salvador Dali's unique views on his religion, his politics, and his surrealist art, we'll go after those stories next week. Till then, for Parliament, Mike Wallace, good night.
The Mike Wallace interview has been brought to you by the new High Filtration Parliament. Parliament, now for the first time at popular price.
Mike Wallace returned recently from the Middle East. He and his staff flew the finest, the TWA Jetstream of Trans World Airlines.
Watch this maverick adventure tomorrow on ABC Television Network.